Unlocking English. Unraveling the phrase, in the lab. Hello, fellow language explorers. Today, we're going to dive into a commonly used English phrase that might seem simple but is rich with context and usage. We're exploring the phrase, in the lab. Whether you're a science enthusiast, a curious learner, or an English aficionado, understanding the nuances of this phrase can add depth to your language skills. So, let's put on our metaphorical lab coats and get started. The phrase, in the lab, directly refers to being physically present inside a laboratory. A laboratory is a controlled setting where scientists and researchers conduct experiments or make scientific observations. When someone says they're in the lab, they could literally mean they are working on or observing an experiment, conducting research, or performing scientific duties. Examples in context. She spends hours in the lab every day working on her thesis. They discovered the new compound while they were in the lab. Beyond the literal sense, in the lab can also take on a figurative meaning. It's often used colloquially to imply that someone is working hard on something, especially something that requires creativity or experimentation. It doesn't have to be a physical lab. It could be any place where someone is trying to develop, create, or improve something. Examples in context. The musician is in the lab cooking up his next big hit. Our tech team is in the lab trying to fix the bug. In the lab has also permeated pop culture and can sometimes be used in slang terms, particularly in the music industry or among creative professionals. It indicates a period of intense focus and creativity, where someone is metaphorically mixing elements to create something new, much like a scientist in a lab. Examples in context. The writer was in the lab for weeks before she came out with her best-selling novel. You can tell he was in the lab with those dance moves. They're incredibly original. When you use the phrase, in the lab, think about the context you're in. If you're in an academic or scientific environment, it's likely being used literally. In a professional or creative space, it might be metaphorical, indicating hard work or innovation. Be aware of cultural nuances, especially in casual conversation or when engaging with creative content, where it can imply a period of focused, intensive work. There you have it. The phrase, in the lab, can be both a straightforward statement about one's whereabouts or a metaphor for deep, experimental work in just about any field. We hope this video has expanded your understanding and you can now use this phrase with confidence in your English conversations. Until next time, keep experimenting with language and life. Happy learning!